Why are some people healthy and others are not?
In terms of the neighborhoods in which you live, does where you live matter over and above your individual choices?
Why is it that some countries have citizens who live long and healthy lives, whereas in other countries, life is short, nasty, and brutal? Welcome to Health and Society. I am Ichiro Kawachi. I am Professor of Social Epidemiology and Chair of the Department of Social and Behavioral Sciences here at the Harvard School of Public Health.
And I'm Monica Wang, an instructor in the Department of Social and Behavioral Sciences at the Harvard School of Public Health.
This course focuses on the social determinants of health. The social determinants of health is defined by the World Health Organization as the condition in which people are born, they are educated, they grow, they work, they age.
How are these variables linked to health behaviors and health outcomes at the population level?
Having lived in 3 different countries in my life, that's how I became interested in why is it that some nations are healthy whilst others are not.
In this area, you'll see that the street planning and urban design is actually much more friendly to walkers and bikers than it is for drivers, as evidenced by the multiple crosswalks and the ample sidewalk space for pedestrians and for bikers.
This course, it's everything we do in our lives. It concerns what kind of family we grew up in, what sort of school we attended, kind of job is health promoting versus health damaging, and how we should maintain our social relationship so as to be healthy ourselves and to promote the health of others.
We look forward to seeing you for our first session.
See you soon.
Hi, my name is Jose Gamboa. I am from Venezuela. I have 20 years old and I am a student of medicine. I am interested in this course because this is very important for my career. Bye.
Hello, I'm Ibrahim Hamma from Niger but living in Senegal. The issue of health is a very big challenge in Africa. It is the main key for development, which is my priority. That's why I'm here in this course. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Mayumi Nishimura. I am an occupational therapist for elderly people and working for 15 years. I'm working at so-called downstream, so running from the view of upstream is very interesting for me. adds new things for me, and I realized both of you are very important to practice in better way. Thank you.
Hi everybody, my name is Lasse Capelle, I'm from the Netherlands. I'm following this course because I'm very interested in social health. I have a background as a PE teacher and a physical therapist. So yeah, I'm doing this course just to get some more basic knowledge about social health. Well, nice to meet you. I hope to talk to you soon.
So the purpose of the session is to start us thinking about the determinants of population health. That is, why is it that some nations have citizens who live long lives whilst others do not? This is a question which has puzzled me for a long time, and by way of background, I want to say a little bit about my own life and how I came to be interested in this question. As you may have already guessed from my name, I am Japanese. I was born in Japan and lived for the first 12 years of my life in that country. And to prove it, here's my kindergarten entry photograph in Tokyo, Japan. Can you spot where I am? That's me in the second row without the hat. So I spent the first 12 years of my life in Japan, and then at the I was born in Japan and lived for the first 12 years of my life in that country. And to prove it, here is my kindergarten entry photograph in Tokyo, Japan. Can you spot where I am? That's me in the second row without the hat. So I spent the first 12 years of my life in Japan, and then at the age of 12, I emigrated with my family to New Zealand. That's what explains my funny accent. And in New Zealand, I attended high school. To prove it, here's my high school photograph. There are not many women in this photograph, but that's because my parents decided to send me to an all-boys school. So I spent my high school years in New Zealand. I attended medical school there, and then I did my PhD in epidemiology. And in 1991, I emigrated to the United States, specifically to Boston, in order to come to Harvard and to do a postdoctoral fellowship there. So as you can see, I have spent my life in three parts, in three different countries that have very different levels of health and life expectancy. Just to review my life history in terms of world As you'll note here, Japan, which is where I was born, has currently the highest average life expectancy in the world at 82.3 years. And as I mentioned just a moment ago, I emigrated from Japan to New Zealand, which is standing roughly in the middle of the pack with life expectancy of 80.6 years. And then I moved from New Zealand to the United States, which currently stands near the bottom of OECD countries in terms of average life expectancy. Now, some of you may be thinking, what's the big difference between life expectancy of 82 years versus 78 years? Isn't the 3 to 4 year difference in life expectancy trivial, that it would be nothing for us to crow about? But in fact, when we think about it, a for the United States to catch up to where the Japanese are today. So this is an enormous difference in life expectancy, and we are going to begin to tackle the question of why during this session. Let's take a break and take a class poll. Now we're going to take a look at an extended case study, which I call a tale of two countries. This is, and what you'll see immediately is that there are striking differences between the two countries in the prevalence of these conditions. Americans not only die sooner, as evidenced by the life expectancy data, but they also tend to be sicker with respect to higher prevalence of having diabetes, hypertension, The second kind of threat to causal inference that I mentioned is the problem of confounding or omitted variable bias. So in the case of education, what we're worried about is whether the relationship between socioeconomic status and health actually represents the hidden influence of a third unobserved variable. The formal definition of confounding is that the association between the exposure of interest and the health outcome actually reflects the influence of an omitted third variable. What would that be in the case of education and health? Before we answer that question, let me take a little side tour. This is a little bit of epidemiology review. It's basic epidemiology review into the concepts of confounding, just to make sure that we're all on the same page. Let's imagine an example. Let's imagine for a moment that I conduct a very large prospective prospective cohort study, in which I'm trying to uncover the causes of lung cancer. And let's say for a moment I measure different kinds of behavioral characteristics in my sample, and when I finish my study, I come back to my laboratory and I'm doing a whole pile. Those who smoke are at 20 times the risk of developing lung cancer during follow-up. My question is this: does that mean that it is necessary to somehow control for or adjust for carrying matches in your pocket when studying that association between smoking and lung cancer? Is carrying matches a confounder of the relationship between cigarette smoking and lung cancer? Do we need to stratify the analysis according to people who carry matches or not? And the answer is no, you don't. You do not have to control for carrying matches. The reason is because the relationship between cigarette smoking and carrying matches is not that carrying matches leads someone to smoke. It's the other way around. As I've shown it here, it's cigarette smoking which is the cause of carrying matches, and moreover, there is no relationship between carrying matches and getting lung cancer. That's the true nature of the association between the three variables which I have shown in this diagram. And note how different this causal structure looks from this causal structure, in which carrying matches is depicted as a confounder of the association between smoking and lung cancer. Generally, what I'm showing you is a simplified diagram in order to depict causal relationships. Whenever a third variable is doing this, as I'm showing in this diagram, the variable is a common prior cause of the exposure and the outcome. Whenever a third variable is shown to be doing that, then we can say that it is a confounder, and we must somehow take account of it in order to estimate the true relationship between an exposure and outcome. In this case, when we are trying to understand whether cigarette smoking is related to lung cancer, the variable carrying matches is not doing this, and it is therefore not a confounder, and you do not need to control for it.